Some of the most important stories out there, they aren't the neat and tidy ones. They're messy, they're complicated, and they're so, so human. Today, we're going to unpack a wild biblical drama, one full of deception, justice, and a destiny that, honestly, nobody saw coming. And it's all at the root of one of the most famous royal lines in all of history.
So let's just get right to the heart of it. The big question we're exploring is, how on earth does a royal dynasty, a famous one, begin with a scandalous deception? I mean, we're talking about a disguise, a totally broken promise, a public shaming. How does that become the origin story for a king? It sounds like a total mess, but you're going to see it's also a story of incredible courage and consequence. All right, so our story kicks off not with some shining hero, but with a leader who's, frankly, in disgrace. Meet Judah. He's one of Jacob's 12 sons, and he has just played a major part in selling his own brother, Joseph, into slavery. Yeah, so his family is completely reeling from the fallout. And to really get what's going on, we gotta look at what the great medieval commentator Rashi had to say about this. It's so crucial. He explains that Judah's brothers basically demoted him. They pointed the finger and said, look, you're the one who told us to sell him. If you'd said send him back, we would have listened. So right from the jump, Judah is on shaky ground. He's a guy whose leadership and judgment are already in serious doubt. And this is where things just go from bad to worse and fast. Judah arranges a marriage for his firstborn son, Er, to a woman named Tamar. But then, dies, suddenly. So Judah tells his second son, Onan, okay, you have to step up, fulfill your duty to your brother's widow. But Onan refuses, and then he dies too. I mean, in a flash, Tamar is a widow twice over, and Judah's entire family line is hanging by a thread. So what was this duty that Onan refused? This is really important. It was a critical ancient custom called levirate marriage. The basic idea was, if a man died without any children, his brother was obligated to marry the widow. And their first son? Well, he wouldn't carry the living brother's name. He'd carry on the name and inheritance of the one who died. So when Onan refused, he wasn't just rejecting Tamar. He was basically trying to erase his own brother's legacy. Okay, so with two sons dead, all the pressure now falls on Judah's third and final son, Shelah. But Judah's terrified. He's probably thinking Tamar is some kind of bad luck, that she's cursed, and he's about to lose his very last heir. And this fear leads him to make a really pivotal promise to his daughter-in-law. And on the surface, what he says sounds totally reasonable. He tells Tamar, go back home to your father's house. Just wait until my son Shelah grows up, and then the marriage will happen, the family line will be safe, everything will be okay. And Tamar, trusting him, agrees and goes home to wait. But the text gives us this little peek into Judah's true thoughts. And guess what? He has absolutely no intention of keeping that promise. He's just scared of losing his last son. And again, Rashi's commentary here is just brilliant. He says Judah pushed her off with a straw. What a great phrase. It means he gave her this flimsy, weak, dismissive excuse. So Judah isn't really protecting his son, he's denying Tamar her rights, basically leaving her trapped in this permanent waiting game. So years go by. Tamar waits and waits. She can see that Shelah is a grown man now, but crickets. The call from Judah never comes. And that's when it hits her. She's been deceived. Her future, and really the future of Judah's own family line, has just been abandoned. So she decides, okay, if he won't act, I will. She's taking matters into her own hands. And make no mistake, this isn't some impulsive act. This is a carefully thought-out, strategic plan. First, she gets intel. She hears that Judah, who's a widower himself now, is going to be traveling to shear his sheep. Then she takes off her widow's clothes, the symbol of her life being stuck on pause, and puts on a veil, making herself completely unrecognizable. Then she waits, positioning herself perfectly at a crossroads she knows he has to pass. And just like clockwork, Judah sees her. He has no idea who she is. He thinks she's a prostitute, so he makes her an offer. He doesn't have the payment right there, but he promises he'll send a young goat from his flock later on. But Tamar is smarter than that. She's not just going to take his word for it. No way. She demands collateral, a pledge, something to make sure he actually follows through this time. And you have to see what she asks for. This is the brilliant part. She doesn't ask for money. She asks for his seal, his cord, and his staff. Now, these aren't just trinkets. In that world, this was basically his ID, his signature, his credit card, all rolled into one. They were the undeniable proof of who he was. And Judah, completely clueless, just hands them right over. So Tamar has what she needs. Her plan is in motion. Later, when Judah sends a friend with the goat to get his stuff back, of course, the woman is gone, nowhere to be found, and Judah, probably a little embarrassed and just wanting to avoid any more drama, tells his friend to just forget it. He has no idea of the storm that's about to hit. Fast forward about 3 months. Word gets back to Judah. Hey, your daughter-in-law, Tamar, she's pregnant. And in his mind, this is an open and shut case. Adultery, a capital crime. So without even a second thought, Judah, the same guy who denied her the very marriage she was entitled to, orders the harshest sentence possible. Bring her out and let her be burned. The hypocrisy is just, wow, it's staggering.
So Tamar now holds the ultimate proof, the evidence that can save her life. But think about this. If she just stands up and screams, "Judah is the father," she would absolutely humiliate the leader of her entire tribe. She's stuck in this incredible dilemma. How do you get justice for yourself without destroying the reputation of the very man who wronged you?
Her solution is just genius. As they're literally dragging her out to be executed, she sends a little package to Judah. And Rashi really points out her incredible restraint here. She never accuses him, she never points a finger, she just sends the evidence, the seal, the cord, and the staff, with a simple message, "It's by the man to whom these belong that I'm pregnant." She puts the ball entirely in his court. It's his move. He can admit the truth, or he can deny his own stuff and condemn them both.
And in this massive moment of truth, Judah finally steps up. He recognizes his sins, of course, but more than that, he recognizes his own failure. Right there in front of everybody, he stops the whole thing and declares that she is innocent and he is the one who is guilty. He says she is more righteous than I, because I did not give her to my son Sheila. I mean, it is just a stunning, jaw-dropping moment of public repentance.
And that confession, right there, it changes everything. What looked like a sordid scandal is suddenly transformed into a story of justice. But the ripples from this one dramatic moment, oh, they're going to spread way, way farther than anyone there could have possibly imagined.
And Rashi adds another wild layer to this. He says that right at that moment, a divine voice, what's called a bat kol, was heard, and it said, "From me these things have come." Whoa. That interpretation just reframes the whole story, doesn't it? It suggests this wasn't just a messy family drama. It was part of a complex, even divinely guided plan to make sure the right family line would be born.
So what was this all-important lineage? Well, Tamar gives birth to twins. One of them is named Perez, and it's from this child, Perez, born out of this desperate, righteous act of deception, that the entire royal line of Israel comes from. This line leads directly to its most famous, most celebrated monarch, King David himself.
So we come full circle. The great Davidic dynasty, this incredible symbol of destiny and royalty, it all starts right here. Not with some perfect, flawless hero, but with a flawed man who owns his mistakes and a courageous woman who would not be denied justice. And it leaves us with this huge question to think about, right? What does it mean for a foundational story to be built not on perfection, but on raw, messy, human complexity? It kind of makes you think that maybe the most important destinies are actually born from the most scandalous beginnings.